What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Today I have a very special episode for you discussing the 8 games in the limited collector's boxed edition lineup for the Intellivision Amico. Now, there have been a lot of people clamoring for asking about what's inside, what these entail, how do I buy them, and in this video I'm going to try to cover all of that. First, a couple ground rules though. If you're new to the channel, you might not know that I've invested in Intellivision Amico. And I know there's a lot of people out there on YouTube, the influencers especially, that try to make that look like a bad thing.
If I'm an investor or someone who stupidly put it, I'll just say $10,000 into this because I think I'm smart and know how to be a business investor. Shirtless wonder? Yeah.
Because I want to see a console succeed that I enjoyed playing? Okay, apparently I'm the bad guy for doing that, or I'm an idiot for doing that, or whatever it is, I don't care. My point is, oh, I forgot my shill hat. I'm a shill for the Intellivision Amico. So full disclosure, in case you didn't notice from the shirt, now you can tell by the hat and me actually saying it. And I think that should cover it. Let's get into this. JT. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell for notifications so you do not miss an upload. And I'm going to be covering a lot more of the Intellivision Amico as we draw closer to the launch of this, with more and more goodies being revealed along the way. This one being the boxed edition of games. And one thing that I've learned in the past few days going up to Intellivision headquarters, again, to meet with Tommy and the team and see how the progress of the system is coming along and what my thoughts are on it. I know people are interested in what I have to say about it. As much as some people might hate me because I enjoy my time with this thing, I like to just be honest with people about my thoughts on it. Tommy showed me a lot of really cool things. Some things I couldn't take pictures of because it was still in development mode, but coming to the finalization process of it, and he said I could speak to it. And I saw, for example, I saw the box that the Intellivision is going to be shipped in. He let me open it up and see how it was going to be layered out and things like that. And he said not to go into too much detail how the box of the Intellivision Amico was going to be laid out, because he wants that to be kind of like a special surprise for people when they get this. So I understood that, but he did say I'm more than welcome to give my impressions of it, and I was like, yeah, that thing it's cool. It's very, very high class, and I think it's gonna surprise a few people that weren't expecting this console to be in the echelon that this box is going to make it feel like it is. So that was my thoughts on the box that the Intellivision Amico comes in, but it's a little tidbit extra thing that I want to talk about real quick. As far as these boxed edition games are concerned, like I said, there are 8 of them in the launch lineup, and they are available to purchase right now at the Intellivision website. I'll put a link in the description of this video below. A couple of these I've already opened up just to look through myself and to get a feel for it before the video began, just so I knew what to speak of specifically, in addition to what Tommy showed me in person at Intellivision the other day. But as you might have already seen too, Intellivision made a video going over one of these and explaining what comes in them. In this video, I want to go into a little bit more detail and give you my thoughts and feelings about this whole entire physical game, if you will. See the big quotes there, because it's not a physical game, it's a boxed edition. But to me, it's a physical game. It's the next generation of what physical games are going to be. So that's how I feel about it, not what Intellivision is saying about that. Don't twist the two. Sometimes people hear things and they're like, oh, Intellivision said this. No, somebody who likes the console is saying that's what it feels like to them. So let's not twist words. Anyways, so first off, going to go through Missile Command. Lenticular, 3D lenticular card in the little folder side here, where instruction books used to go. And I asked Tommy about that too. I was like, oh, if you're going for collectors and stuff like that, you're doing these cards, which is really cool because collectors love cards and stuff like that. I know I do. So a 3D lenticular card is awesome. But as a collector, as a retro gamer, I also like instruction books. Why wouldn't you put instruction books in these as well? And his answer actually surprised me, but it made sense when you thought about it. He's like, yeah, we actually were planning on doing instruction books and thought that was going to be a great idea because that's what we wanted to go for. But then we realized the whole point of the Intellivision Amico is to keep the games basic and easily understandable for families to be able to pick up and play, and you shouldn't have to have an instruction book for that. If anything, you can just have a lenticular card for games to tell you whatever it wants. Facts about the game, the storyline, information about it, number of players, release date, developer, publisher, all that kind of stuff on the card. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense than an instruction book. As much as I personally wanted instruction books, it doesn't make sense. I think it's one of those, in theory it's cool things, but in reality, this makes way more sense. That's my honest feelings about it too. After Tommy said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. Because even he wanted to do them, so I understood that. Then there's a coin, I'll go to that next. Every game that's a boxed edition comes with its own unique coin. This one, it says Missile Command on the back, and it's got the running man with all the different animations going around of that for Intellivision on the coin. It's got a really good weight to it too. It feels like, I'd say like 2/4, 3/4. 3/4 put together, maybe 2.5 quarters put together for the weight. And then the game itself is an RFID card. Now this is really cool. This honestly, my honest feelings, if I can give honest feelings anymore, whether people choose to believe me or not, I guess is a whole nother thing. But my honest feelings about this RFID thing is, it's genius. Like, it really is. For the types of games that the Intellivision Amico is going to be playing, this makes sense. It's not just an RFID though. On the back there is a unique code. I'm not going to show it just in case, but there is a unique code that you can enter in after scanning this to lock it to your system and unlock it. Actually, not really lock it to your system. Let me go into further detail about that so it makes more sense. Because this is going to be fully transferable. It's never going to be locked to a system per se. What you can do is share this card with someone else and then enter the code on the back when prompted, and then it will transfer the game to your system, or at least let you download it. And then when the other person goes to play their system, it will remove it when it gets reconnected to being online. So it's pretty genius in a way because it allows physical transferring of a game in a box media that you can sell after you buy it. It's not like it's not strictly a code, which I think a lot of people were worried about, myself included, because I'm like, if it's just going to be a code, I've already made videos complaining about how much I hate the idea of that. It's dumb, you know. But to have an actual game card that you can scan onto the top of the Amico where the controller port is and download the game. And then if you want to ever sell it or trade it with a friend, you can trade cards with people too. I think that's really cool. I do. I mean, the honest feelings about it. I did a lot of thinking too, because this is new. It's not just RFID, but it's also NFT. So non-fungible token. And I guess I'll dive into a brief explanation of that for those that don't understand what that is when it comes to games, because it's very new, and it's even new to me. But as far as I understand non-fungible tokens, it's basically part of a blockchain with a unique ID to it. So for every single game, every single one of these has a unique ID to it. So ergo, it's something that you can trade with people, and each one of these is its own thing, which is, to me, again, pretty cool. Back of the box, full glossy color. I really like the feeling of the box. Not the strongest structure of it. It's basic cardboard with plastic inside of it, but it does the job. You know, it does the trick for what they need it to do. Could have been a little bit nicer, but I think what they were going for was collectability and affordability. I don't think they wanted like a $6 game to end up costing like $40 because of the box, like a really nice collector's box. So I think it makes sense for how they package this, just being honest. I think it's perfect. Each one of these, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail too. Each one of these is available. They're going to be, I guess you could break it down to $20 a piece, but they're not selling them individually, so that's not really $20 a piece. It's It's actually $80 for 4 of them, or $150, so it's a $10 discount, for all 8 of them. And when you purchase them, these are limited to, what was it, 40,000 copies, did Tommy say, all together. So I believe that means 5,000 copies of each of these, kind of making it like a limited run games in a way, I guess. I mean, these ones all say limited collector's edition on the top. I don't think it doesn't mean that they can't print more of them, but for this initial launch, these are the ones that will say limited collector's edition. So from a collector's standpoint, I would assume they'd be more valuable at that point, but who knows? Who knows? My point being, this is really made for collectors. People that just want to hold the physical media. Again, my feeling on that, even though it's called the boxed edition, I consider this to being the version of physical media because of how it works. It doesn't stick into the console. It doesn't have the game like engraved on a circuit board or anything like that. Like some people were wondering if it's like the TurboGrafx 16 on the slim card that you slide in. It's nothing like that. It's new next generation technology, and it makes sense. So for 4 of the games, they are packs of Dynablaster, Evil Knievel, Rigid Force Redux Enhanced, and Missile Command for the first set of 4, and then the other set of 4 is Brain Duel, Biplanes, Moon Patrol, and Finnegan Fox. And in my experience playing these, I don't think I played Brain Duel. If I did, it was very brief. Same with Finnegan Fox, very brief. But my experience with Moon Patrol, so much freaking fun with that game. Biplanes, a fantastic experience. And these are the 4 I'm going to focus on right now, just to go through them. Let me open up Biplanes. Played this a lot with Tommy. Not the most recent trip up to Intellivision, but last time I was there, it was like, I think 4 months ago, something like that. I don't know. Lost track of time during the pandemic. So here is Biplanes, opening it up for the first time, just taking the seal off of it. Here is the 3D lenticular card. It has fun facts and information on the back of the card as well. You can just slide that into where the instruction book area of the side of the slot would be. And here we have the Biplanes coin, which is super cool. It shows the airplanes there on the back, and then the same front that all the other coins have. One side is always the same Running Man, and then the back is the unique game itself. Just a collector's coin. It does not do anything for the games or anything like that. If anyone was wondering if there's like an RFID chip in those or anything like that, there is not. Biplanes game card right here. And then on the... I'm covering up the name. And then on the back there's the code, and there's like a little picture showing people how to tap it onto their Amico to get the game to download, assuming it's connected to the internet. It just needs to be connected to the internet for the download, and then it doesn't need updates. There's no loot crates, loot boxes, downloadable content, anything like that. It's unique in the fact that you download the game and you get to play it. So there's not going to be like extra edition stuff that you need to buy to keep up with everything or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward, and it's harkens back to the old school gaming, which I definitely can appreciate. The other 4 games: Dynablaster, Evil Knievel, Rigid Force Redux Enhanced, and Missile Command. Dynablaster is basically like a Bomberman clone, but it's got its own unique aspects to it because the levels are not just rectangles like so many Bomberman levels are, but it's really fun, especially 4-player gaming. And there's a cool little image of the Dynablaster guy on the back of the coin and the Running Man on the front of that one. And the Dynablaster lenticular card, like that. And then it has the information on the back of the card as well for the lenticular collector's card. And then the RFID game card that you scan on that you press onto the system for it to accept and download to your console. and then if you want to sell it, you can sell it. And as far as I understand, it just stays on your system as long as somebody else doesn't put it onto their system, and that you're disconnected from the internet. I don't know the ins and outs of how all that's going to work specifically yet, but from how Tommy and the team explained it to me, it made sense. It made sense. Will there be like ways around it to game the system? To a certain extent, maybe, but I think ultimately, when it comes down to it, like they're going to be like $6 games, $8 games. People are going to be going out of their way to game the system for getting a game for free for a limited time. I mean, I guess they might be able to do that if they find ways, but then it's just going to go away anyways. So, yeah, the system that's in place is fairly foolproof. And I like it because for the longest time I was thinking this next generation of gaming is all going to be digital. And my concern with that was it's going to remove the whole collectability aspect from gaming. And I would be interested to see, no joke, if the future of game consoles might borrow a page out of Tommy's book with the blockchain, NFT, RFID cards so that people can still exchange them and use them on different systems. It's actually a really good idea. So that's my feelings on these. I think it's really cool, really unique. And again, I'm gonna put the web address for a link to this web page to be able to purchase these in the description below. The games themselves, like I said, you can buy 4 or all 8 or another pack of 4 if you want specific games out of it. They are not sold individually at this time. This is strictly for the collectors out there that want to get an early start on purchasing the Intellivision Amico games. And let me see, like I said, it's going to be $80 for the 4-pack, $150 for the 8-pack, and that does not include shipping or tax. Those are additional fees, and it varies by country, so it depends on where you are and how much that extra is going to be. But that's a relative ballpark idea of what you can expect. And they're on sale now, shipping to the US, Canada, and Europe. And I believe it's going to be the same price no matter where you're purchasing it, just in your local currency. That's all the information I have right now for the boxed edition games. I hope this answers your questions. I know a lot of people are wondering where they can get these, how they can get them. I've had a ton of people hitting me up in private messages asking me about these, how they work and stuff like that. And it's been hard to wait for this video to launch and not say anything to anyone, but I did it! I did it, Tommy. I didn't say anything to anyone about these, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to leave it right there. Let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash JT.